Today, I'm going to ramble on about painting a bust. Hi guys, Jonathan from True Raven Studios. Welcome. If you're new here, please hit subscribe. We have new videos every week and you don't want to miss out. Today's topic is going to deal a little bit with color theory and a little bit with kind of planning how you paint a miniature. So every once in a while I kind of get bored with painting the small scale miniatures, so I have a box of larger scale miniatures and busts that I just use to kind of cleanse my palette and do something a little bit different. And that's what we're going to do this week. So what I'm going to paint is Nancy Steelpunch from scale 75. So today's video is not actually going to deal with the actual process of painting this bust. That's going to come later on. So look forward to that video in the future. Today what we're going to do is talk about the process that you have to go through when you are planning on doing something. It's really important for a display piece, but it's also important when you're painting an army because you want a cohesive theme throughout the force. And if you're painting something like Space Marines or Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Games Workshop already did the work for you and they already put together the scheme. So if you're using a studio scheme, you don't have to worry about this, but if you want to create your own scheme, or again, if you're painting a display piece, we're going to go over to the things you want to think about as you're planning. So the first thing we need to think about is actually how we're putting this miniature together. Generally speaking, I like fully assembling my models before I paint them, but sometimes it's better to put them in sub-assemblies. So let's look at the pieces and see what's the best way to approach painting this piece. So we have three main pieces to this. We have the body, the fist, and then the head. It's pretty simple. And they just kind of, the head slots in there, arms slot in, they're keyed very nicely. This is a very easy to assemble bust. So looking at the bust, we kind of see that, as I drop it, that the face is going to be hard to paint when it's assembled because the shoulder kind of blocks the face. So I think I'm going to keep the head separate, but I will attach the arm to the body. So if this was a miniature, I'd put the whole thing together, but for a bust, we're going to have these two separate assemblies. So now that we know how we want to assemble it, there's two main things we need to think about before we start painting. One is our overall scheme, and the other is our light source, where the light's coming from. Generally speaking, on miniatures, I paint the light source coming from the angle of the miniature's upper right. So it'd be like this for me. The light's coming from a high angle, but slightly to the right, kind of how my face is lit right now from the light up there. The reason I do that is you can do a straight down highlight on miniatures, but it's just a little bit more interesting if you put it at a slight angle. For display pieces, something like this bust, we really want to think about the viewing angle because it's not a miniature that's going to be moving around a table. It's going to be something sitting in a display case. So you're going to be looking at it from a specific angle. So we want to take that into consideration when we put the light source in. So I'm going to go back over to the miniature. It's primed and there is a zenithal prime, sort of. I don't think zenithal is the right word I want to use. I've put highlights in of a lighter color. It's not a direct zenithal light. You're going to see once I get to the bust itself. I meant to show you the process of priming it, but I forgot to hit record. So we're just going to go straight to the bust actually primed. So as we look at the two pieces, you can kind of see what I did here. So I'm going to line them up for the camera so you can kind of get an idea what it would look like assembled. But the viewing angle, you could view it from this angle, but I think a slight angle like this, kind of how the picture's on the box, that's where you want it viewed. So that's where I put the concept of the light from. So you can kind of see, I could put the accents on the fist and really highlight that way and have the light coming from that direction, but that's not what I did. What I actually did is have the light source come in from the model's left side, kind of like that. It's not really coming from the top. It's more coming from an angle at the side, so almost slightly above, but more kind of in from that left side. One of the reasons I did it is, if you look at the face in particular, that side of the face, just the way it's sculpted, it's gonna look nice in shadow. And same thing kind of here. You can kind of see there's more light coming in from that front left. It's our right, but it's the bust's left side. And I think it's going to give this bust a cool feel once painted because we're painting from that angle. So with the lighting situation under control, now we need to work on a color scheme. So we could use the scheme on the box, but I'm not a huge fan and I want to kind of make up my own. What I want to do is use this paint set. It's the Nocturna Imperial Purple paint set from Vallejo. It's got 8 different colors of purple in here, and I really want to try this out because I've had this for a little while and I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. So I want to use this. My initial thought was to use this in conjunction with the Malefic skin set from the same brand and kind of give it more of like a monochrome, like purple, dark, almost desaturated skins type scheme. But I don't think that would work really well on this miniature, but I like the idea. So what I'm going to do is save that idea and use it actually on this, which is a bust from the same company. It's a steampunk vampire, and I think that concept would look really cool on this. But we still need to come up with one for the bust we're painting right now. But I want to use this still. I still want to use this purple. So using this purple as a base, we want to build out the other colors. So that's where our color wheel comes in. If we look on the back, we can use it to make a scheme. So if we have the purple up here and go straight down, the complementary color is yellow. A thing I like to do a lot with my schemes is what's called split complementary. So we take the color we're using, instead of taking the color directly across, we take the color on either side. So in this case, it would be a yellow orange and a yellow green. So that could work for this because it has the big fist. We could paint that fist all kinds of bronzes and brasses, and it would fit very well with the kind of orangey color. And then maybe we could use like a yellow-green for the lenses and that sort of thing. And that's one way we could build this scheme. So that would be more of like making it what it is, a steampunk miniature. We can make it have a steampunk feel. My other idea is actually to go more monochrome with it and keep it in kind of the blue and purple realm, and make it more cyberpunk instead of steampunk, and I think that could be a cool look too. I'm kind of iffy which way I want to go with it though. So what I did was, I actually just used this paint set and I painted the fabric on the body purple. So, as I said, later on we'll have a video about the actual technique of it, but I painted the body purple and I painted this just based in the skin, a skin color. So, with this in mind, I can get a better idea of the direction I want to go with this. So I decided out of the two ideas, either the steampunk or the cyberpunk, I want to go the cyberpunk route, and I'm going to tell you why. So you can kind of see, I went for a warmer purple. So if you don't understand warm and cold colors, it's a video I really need to make, but basic concepts. Things closer to blue are cold, things closer to orange are warm. So purple, you can actually, well, if we really want to go down the rabbit hole, I prefer to use different terms like violet and purple, and I use them differently. But that's a whole nother video going way deep down the rabbit hole, and we're not doing that here, but I'm definitely going to do a video about that in the future, about purple. So you can kind of see this color, which it's hard to tell. Let's actually pick one that's a little bit more easy to tell. So this is a tone of purple or magenta, but it's warm. It's more towards kind of like a red color, while this purple is more towards blue. I would actually call this more violet, but so you can kind of see the difference. We have a warmer color and a colder color. The color I went for on this is a warmer purple, so you can kind of see overall it has more of that warm tone to it. There's the cold tones in the shadows, but the main tone of it is more warm. Now if we went more the steampunk route, I would be painting this fist brass and bronze colors, warm colors. I actually was going to do a lot of leather on the body, which again, you could do cold leather, but generally speaking, leather you're going to be using warmer colors. And it'd be all warm colors. The skin is obviously a warmer color. I want to break this up by using cold colors and warm colors. So if I do this as a cyberpunk, I'm going to paint this fist a blue steel. It's going to be colder. So we'll have the kind of coldness up here, and we'll have the warmness of the cloth here, and the face will be, again, the skin tone, so it'll be warm color. So we'll have that kind of cold, warm contrast, and it'll really make the fist pop out from the rest of it by having kind of the body of the woman being mostly warm colors, and then the mechanical part being mostly cool colors. And I think that'll give it a really cool look. So that's the idea I'm going to go with this when I finish painting it, is warm body, so warm colors here, cold colors here. I might add in a couple spots of colder colors along the body too. Thinking maybe doing like a blue or some kind of stripe in the hair. So if you look at the face, it's kind of got a cool haircut. I might do some tattoos on this side of the face, but I might do, if you know Sabine from Rebels, how she has that streak of color in her hair, hers is like a lavender purple. I might do that, or I might do like a blue, something in the colder family, just to kind of bring some coldness in over in this area to kind of offset the cold here and the warm here. So that's what I'm thinking with this bust. So today it was just kind of talking about the process that I go through when I decide how to paint something. And we're not getting, I said before, we're not getting into actual painting today. Hopefully that video will be out Friday. If not, it'll be a video of painting a different miniature. This week's been a little bit crazy. Definitely in the future, you will, within the next week or two, you will see this bust fully painted, and we'll have a video of how I did it. So look forward to that. Speaking of that, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out when that comes out. Also, if you found this useful, please leave a like. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos that are a little bit more talking about kind of the concepts behind painting. My goal is not just to show you ABC, this is how you paint. I want to make you guys a better painter, and the way you become a better painter is you have to think about the process of painting. That's what today's video was really about, was kind of thinking about that process of how we decide what we're going to paint. Because I know personally sometimes I get hung up on painting something because I can't figure out how I want to paint it, what color I want to put here, what color I want to put here. So I just was trying to give you some ideas today about how that thought process works in my mind to give you some ideas. So if I gave you some ideas, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to leave a link to some videos you can check out over here. It's something YouTube thinks you're going to like, and I'm going to leave a link to actually my color theory video. And until next time, keep on gaming and paint your minis.